Tonight, there is nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to follow, and nothing you need to figure out. Only a quiet night, gently waiting, as the weight of the day begins to loosen and soften and drift away from you. You find yourself standing in a place that feels ancient, not in a way that asks to be understood, but in a way that simply exists, calm, still, and undisturbed, where the air is warm and the stone beneath your feet holds a fading memory of the sun. Soft light flickers nearby, oil lamps resting against tall columns, their glow moving slowly across carved surfaces, stretching into shadow and disappearing again. There is no need to know where you are, no need to decide where to go. You can simply begin, slowly, quietly, letting each step arrive on its own. As the night opens around you, you begin to move, not because you decided to, not because there is some way to reach, but because your body shifts forward in the quiet, almost on its own, your foot lowering slowly, carefully, until it meets the stone beneath you. The surface smooth, worn, softened over time rather than shaped by force. And as your weight settles, the movement continues, naturally, gently, without urgency, without effort. The air around you feels warm, but not heavy, not pressing, not demanding, just enough to wrap itself lightly around your shoulders, your arms, your breath, as if the night itself is resting against you, encouraging you to slow, to soften, to let go of anything sharp, anything rushed, anything that still carries the weight of the day. Each step follows the last, not in a sequence you need to track, not in a pattern you need to understand, but in a quiet rhythm that begins to form on its own. Step, and then another, each one arriving gently, each one fading just as softly, leaving no trace behind. Tall columns rise on either side of you, steady, grounded, unmoving, their surfaces carrying faint markings that drift in and out of view as the light shifts. Never fully visible, never needing to be understood, only present, only part of the stillness. You pass one column, and then another, their spacing even, their presence constant, creating a quiet repetition that settles deeper with each step. Not something you think about, but something you feel, something that slows the movement of your thoughts until they begin to quiet and soften and thin. Light moves gently across the stone, not from above, but from small flames resting along the walls. Oil lamps, simple, contained, their glow steady, their movement slow, bending slightly, recovering, never flickering wildly, never breaking the calm. As you pass one, you feel a brief warmth touch your skin, soft, subtle, almost imagined, and then it fades again, replaced by the stillness of the air, the quiet of the space, the steady rhythm of your steps continuing forward. There are no voices here, no distant sounds, no movement beyond your own, only the faint echo of your presence, your steps returning softly from the stone, not traveling far, not disturbing the silence, just enough to remind you that you are here, within this space, within this moment. The corridor stretches ahead, long, straight, and gradually shifting, not turning sharply, not breaking the flow, but guiding you gently, almost without you noticing, as if the space itself is designed to remove effort, to remove decision, to remove the need to think about where you are going. And so you continue, step, and then another, each one slower than the last, each one softer, as if the night itself is settling into your movement, becoming part of the way you walk, the way you exist within this quiet place. The stone beneath your feet changes slightly, not in a way that demands attention, but in a way that you begin to feel. The surface cooling, the warmth fading, the presence of the day slowly releasing its hold, leaving only the calm of the night behind. The columns begin to space wider apart, not suddenly, not noticeably at first, but gradually, subtly, creating a sense of openness that grows with each step. The ceiling lifting, the air expanding, the space breathing outward around you. You do not need to react. You do not need to notice. Your body adjusts on its own, your steps continuing forward, unbroken, uninterrupted, as the corridor slowly releases its hold. And then, without transition, without announcement, you find yourself stepping into a wider space, a courtyard. The ground stretches outward, flat, open, uninterrupted, holding the quiet of the night like a still surface, untouched, undisturbed, waiting without expectation. You slow, not because you choose to, but because there is nothing pulling you forward, nothing guiding you, nothing asking you to continue. And so your movement softens, your steps becoming smaller, quieter, until they almost disappear. The air here feels different, not colder, not warmer, but deeper, as if it carries more space within it, more stillness, more quiet, settling gently around you, without pressure, without weight. The edges of the courtyard are lined with low flames, small points of light resting in the distance, steady, unmoving, casting soft glows that barely reach the center, leaving most of the space in a gentle shadow. Not dark, not empty, just calm, just resting. Above you, the sky is only barely visible, a faint suggestion of openness, framed by the stone around you. Not something to look at, not something to follow, just something that exists quietly above, without drawing your attention. You stand there, not observing, not thinking, not waiting, simply present, your body settling, your breath slowing, your shoulders releasing any remaining tension, without effort, without instruction. Time feels different here, not slower, not faster, but less defined, less structured, as if it has softened, stretched, loosened its hold, leaving only the moment, extended, continuous, uninterrupted. And within that stillness, something else begins to appear. Not a sound, not at first, but the faint suggestion of movement, something just beyond your awareness, something that does not interrupt the quiet, but exists within it. Then, slowly, gently, it becomes clearer, a faint rhythm, soft, distant, almost blending with the silence itself. Water, not loud, not flowing with force, not demanding attention, but present, steady, continuous, like a quiet breath resting beneath everything. You do not react, you do not turn quickly, you do not follow it immediately. You simply notice, and then, after a moment, or perhaps longer, your body shifts again, gently, naturally, without decision, and you begin to move toward it, slowly, quietly, carrying the stillness with you, step by step, as the night continues to unfold, around you and within you, at the same slow, steady, unbroken pace. You continue to move, not because you are following the sound, not because you are searching for anything, but because your body leans gently into the quiet, allowing the faint rhythm ahead of you to exist without urgency, without direction, simply present, simply part of the space that is unfolding around you. Each step carries you forward, slowly, evenly, the courtyard fading behind you without resistance, without memory, as the surface beneath your feet begins to change again, the stone becoming slightly cooler, slightly smoother, holding less warmth and more of the night. The air shifts with you, just enough to notice, a faint coolness brushing lightly against your skin, not cold, not sharp, but soft, subtle, like a quiet layer settling over everything, smoothing the edges of sensation, softening the boundaries between where you end and where the night begins. The sound of the water becomes clearer now, not louder, not stronger, but more defined, more present within the silence. A slow, steady movement that does not break the stillness, but lives within it, like a breath that continues without effort. You do not hurry toward it. You do not change your pace, because there is nothing to reach, nothing to arrive at, only the continuation of movement, the continuation of quiet, the continuation of being exactly where you are. The open space narrows slightly, guiding you without direction, the ground sloping almost imperceptibly downward. Not enough to notice with your eyes, but enough for your body to feel. A gentle shift, a quiet descent, as if you are being carried closer to something, without effort, without intention. And then the edge reveals itself, not suddenly, not sharply, but gradually, the stone giving way to a darker surface ahead, one that does not reflect light in the same way, one that absorbs, softens, and carries it instead. The water, it stretches outward before you, wide, calm, endless in a way that does not overwhelm, but settles like a surface that has no need to define itself, no need to end, no need to begin. You step closer, your movement slowing even further, not because you choose to slow, but because the space itself invites it, the stillness deepening, the quiet expanding, until each step feels like it belongs exactly where it lands. The boundary between stone and water is soft, almost indistinct. No edge that separates, no line that divides, only a gradual meeting of textures, one solid, one fluid, both equally still, both equally at rest. You stand at that meeting point, your presence quiet, your breath steady, your body no longer carrying any sense of movement, only the echo of steps that have already faded behind you. The surface of the water moves, but only just, a slow, continuous shifting that never becomes a wave, never becomes anything that asks for attention. Only a gentle, endless motion, like something that has always been, and will always continue. Small fragments of light drift across it, reflections from distant flames, broken, stretched, softened, pulled apart by the movement beneath, never forming shapes, never holding still long enough to become something you need to recognize. You do not watch them, you do not follow them, because there is nothing to follow. They exist, and then they change, and then they disappear, just as quietly as they arrived. A small wooden boat rests nearby, its form simple, unadorned, tied loosely to a stone post, its rope slack, moving gently with the subtle pull of the water. The wood creaks softly, not sharply, not suddenly, but slowly, rhythmically, as the boat shifts and settles and shifts again. The sound is quiet, almost like breathing. You remain still, not observing, not thinking, not waiting for anything to happen, because nothing needs to happen. The night does not change, it does not build, it does not move toward anything. It simply continues. A faint breeze passes across the surface of the water, barely enough to feel, but enough to change the way the light moves, stretching it slightly, blurring the reflections, softening them even further, until they become nothing more than faint impressions drifting across the surface. The air carries that movement gently toward you, brushing against your skin, cooling it just enough to be noticed, and then fading again, leaving the stillness untouched. Behind you, the temple remains, its presence steady, grounded, unmoving, the soft glow of its lamps unchanged, unaffected by time, unaffected by your movement. Ahead of you, the water continues its slow, endless rhythm, unconcerned with direction, unconcerned with purpose, simply existing, simply moving, simply being. And between the two, you remain, not choosing, not deciding, not needing to move in either direction, because here, there is no need to move forward and no need to return, only the moment, resting gently between stillness and motion. Your breath slows further, matching the quiet rhythm of the water, not intentionally, not consciously, but naturally, as if your body is remembering something simple, something steady, something that does not require thought. Inhale, soft, slow. Exhale, even softer, even slower. The sound of the boat continues, a quiet creak, then silence, then another, each one spaced apart, each one unhurried, each one blending into the stillness rather than breaking it. Time feels thinner here, less structured, less defined, no longer moving in steps, no longer divided into moments that need to be tracked. Only one continuous stretch, one quiet unfolding, one gentle presence that holds everything without effort. You could remain here, standing at the edge, allowing the water to move, allowing the night to rest, allowing your body to settle deeper into the stillness. Or you could move again, slowly, gently, without reason. There is no difference, because nothing is leading you, nothing is waiting for you. Only the quiet, only the calm, only the slow, steady rhythm that continues, with or without you. And after a while, or perhaps not at all, your body begins to shift again, not as a decision, not as a thought, but as a natural continuation, a gentle turning, a soft redirection. The water remains, unchanged, the boat still moving in its slow rhythm, the reflections still drifting across the surface. Nothing has ended, nothing has begun, only your movement changes. and you begin to step away, slowly, quietly, carrying the stillness with you as the sound of the water fades, not disappearing, but dissolving gently into the distance, becoming part of the silence once more. You begin to turn, not as a decision, not as something you choose, but as a quiet continuation, a gentle shift in your body, your weight transferring, your shoulders easing in a new direction, until the space behind you becomes the space ahead, and the water, still moving, still present, slowly begins to fall away. The sound remains for a while, soft, steady, like a memory that has not yet decided to fade, and as you take your first step back toward the stone, it follows you, not pulling, not calling, just existing, gradually softening, gradually dissolving, until it becomes part of the silence once more. Your feet return to the solid ground, the surface familiar now, cool, smooth, steady beneath you, holding your weight without resistance, without change, as if it has always been waiting for you to return. The air shifts again, just slightly, the faint coolness from the water easing away, replaced by a warmer stillness, one that feels more contained, more grounded, settling gently around you without movement. Ahead, the structure of the temple rises once more, its form quiet, unmoving, its entrance wide, open, not inviting, not expecting, simply there, holding its place within the night. You move toward it, slowly, your steps even softer now, as if the stillness you found at the water's edge has settled deeper into you, shaping the way you move, the way you breathe, the way you exist within this space. There is no urgency in your movement, no sense of returning, no sense of leaving anything behind, because nothing was ever held, nothing was ever required. The entrance draws closer, not because it pulls you, but because your steps continue, one after another, each one arriving gently, each one fading just as quietly, leaving no trace, no interruption, only continuation. And as you cross the threshold, the air changes immediately, cooler, softer, more still. It settles against your skin in a different way, not open like the courtyard, not fluid like the water, but contained, held, as if the space itself is wrapped gently around you, enclosing the quiet, protecting it, deepening it. The light shifts as well, the open glow of distant flames replaced by smaller, closer sources, oil lamps resting within carved recesses along the walls, their flames steady, contained, their movements slow, almost imperceptible. They do not illuminate the space fully, they do not reveal everything, they only soften the darkness. They only allow what is near to exist, while everything beyond rests quietly in shadow. Your footsteps echo now, just slightly, a soft return of sound, following each step, touching the walls, and fading before it can travel too far. Not loud, not sharp, just enough to remind you of space, of depth, of the quiet structure surrounding you. You continue forward, your path unfolding naturally, the corridor stretching ahead, long, straight, then gently curving, not in a way that requires attention, not in a way that asks you to choose, but in a way that simply allows movement to continue without interruption. The walls feel closer here, not confining, not restrictive, but grounding, steady, holding their place, giving shape to the space without demanding anything from you. The ceiling rises above, disappearing into darkness, its height suggested rather than seen, its presence felt rather than observed. The light flickers softly, casting slow, shifting shadows across the stone, never forming patterns you need to follow, never becoming anything defined, only movement within stillness, only change that does not disturb. You pass one opening, then another, each leading into spaces you do not enter, spaces that remain quiet, untouched, existing without purpose, without expectation. There is no need to explore, no need to turn, no need to understand what lies beyond, because everything you need is already here, in the step you take, in the breath you release, in the quiet that surrounds you. The corridor continues, and then opens slightly, not into a white space, but into something softer, something more contained, a chamber. The air here feels deeper, heavier in stillness, not pressing, not overwhelming, but holding more quiet within it, as if the space has been resting longer, undisturbed, untouched. The light is lower, dimmer, the flames smaller, their glow softer, barely reaching the edges of the room.
You step inside, your movement slowing even further, your body adjusting without thought, without intention, as if the space itself is guiding you, gently, quietly, without direction. The ground beneath you is smooth, uninterrupted, carrying no marks, no patterns, only a soft, even surface that receives each step without resistance. You do not stop, but you do not continue quickly either. You simply move, slowly, naturally, without awareness of distance, without awareness of time. The silence here is deeper, not empty, but full of stillness, full of rest, full of the absence of everything that once required your attention. Your breath softens further. Inhale, slow, quiet. Exhale, slower, softer. The echo of your steps fades until it is barely there, until the sound becomes part of the silence itself. Nothing changes, nothing builds, nothing moves toward anything, only the quiet remains. And within that quiet, something begins to shift. Not around you, but within you. A soft release, a gentle letting go, as if each step you have taken, each space you have moved through, has been slowly carrying something away, something you no longer need, something that no longer belongs to this moment. Your shoulders ease, your jaw softens, your breath settles deeper, slower, quieter, and you do not notice when it happens. You only find yourself already there, already within the stillness, already part of the quiet. The chamber holds you, not physically, not with force, but with presence, with calm, with a quiet that does not move, does not change, does not ask anything of you. You could remain here, or you could continue, and after a while, or perhaps without time at all, your body begins to shift again, not as a decision, not as a thought, but as a continuation, and you begin to move, slowly, gently, back toward the corridor, carrying the stillness with you, unchanged, undisturbed, as the quiet continues to unfold, step by step, breath by breath, exactly as it has all along. You continue to move. Not because something has ended, not because something is beginning, but because movement simply continues, quietly, gently, as it has all along. Your steps carrying you forward, soft, unhurried, without direction, without intention. The chamber releases you, not suddenly, not in a way that changes anything, but gradually, as the walls begin to widen, the air begins to shift, and the quiet remains, unchanged, steady, resting gently around you. You pass once more into the corridor, the light returning in small, contained glows along the walls, the flames still steady, still unmoving in their quiet rhythm, their presence unchanged by your absence, unchanged by your return. Your footsteps echo faintly again, just enough to follow you, just enough to remind you of space, and then fade, absorbed by the stone, leaving no trace behind. The air feels slightly warmer now, not enough to notice immediately, but enough for your body to feel, a subtle change, a gentle transition, as the enclosed stillness begins to open. You continue forward, the path unfolding without effort, the turns soft, the transition smooth, each space blending into the next without interruption, without distinction. There is no need to remember where you came from, no need to think about where you are going. Only the continuation of steps, only the continuation of breath, only the quiet. The corridor begins to open again, slowly, gradually. The ceiling lifting, the walls pulling back, the air expanding, until the contained stillness releases into something wider, something softer, something open. And without noticing the moment it happens, you step back into the courtyard. The night is exactly as you left it, unchanged, unmoved. The ground stretches outward, still, quiet, resting beneath the same faint glow of distant flames. Their light steady, their presence constant, untouched by time, untouched by your movement. The air settles gently around you, warmer now, softer, carrying the same calm that has followed you through every space, through every step, through every breath. You move forward slightly, your steps slower now, softer than before, as if the night has settled deeper into you, becoming part of the way you move, the way you exist within this quiet space. There is no pull to continue, no reason to cross the courtyard, no need to return to the water, because nothing has been left behind, and nothing is waiting ahead. Only this moment, resting, unchanged. The faint sound of the water still exists, far in the distance now, barely reaching you, just enough to remind you that it continues, just as it always has, just as it always will. The flames flicker gently, their movement slow, controlled, never breaking the stillness, never asking for attention. The stone beneath your feet still holds a trace of warmth, fading slowly, releasing the last memory of the day. As the night continues to settle deeper, softer, quieter, you pause, not because you have arrived, not because there is something to see, but because there is nothing left to do. Your body no longer carries the sense of movement. Your breath no longer follows a rhythm you need to notice. Everything simply continues, without effort, without direction, without thought. Time feels distant here, not slowed, not stopped, but loosened, unbound from anything that needs to be measured, anything that needs to be followed, anything that needs to be held. Only the present remains, stretching gently, endlessly, without edge, without boundary. You could take another step, or remain exactly where you are. There is no difference, because nothing changes, nothing begins, nothing ends. Only the quiet continues, only the stillness remains, only the soft, steady feeling of rest, settling deeper and deeper and deeper. Your shoulders release completely now, any remaining tension dissolving without effort, without awareness. Your breath softens. Inhale, slow, quiet. Exhale, slower, softer. The night holds you, not with force, not with weight, but with presence, with calm, with a stillness that does not move, does not change, does not ask anything of you. There is nothing to understand, nothing to remember, nothing to carry forward. Only this, only the quiet, only the gentle unfolding of a moment that does not need to become anything more. And as you remain here, or as you slowly allow yourself to drift, the space around you does not change. It simply continues, steady, unmoving, at rest, just as you are now, just as you have become. And without noticing when it happens, without marking the moment, without needing to, you are already there, already within the stillness, already resting, already drifting, with nothing to follow and nowhere left to go.